marching, Santa's waiting, Christmas Eve is slowly fading. Can you hear him in the night? Close the door, turn out the light.
What up, peeps? Mr.Bones back at you, and it's day 8 of 12 days of AxE'Mas. How about a little Hallmark horror?
2024's Curtains for Christmas, directed by Steve Radzinski, written by Aline Isley and Steve Radzinski, starring Aline Isley, Michael Varrati, and Jessa Flux. Holly absolutely loves Christmas movies. After meeting a man with a similar love for Christmas, Holly decides that her life deserves to be as perfect as the film she loves, by any means necessary. So this movie is about a psychotic lady named Holly who loves Christmas and Hallmark movies and is also crazy. It comes on with her arguing with her current boyfriend and being mad because he wants to go spend the weekend with some buddies. So she murders him. And what is the first thing that's on her mind that bothers her? Is there's blood on her curtains. So she needs to go to the store and get some new curtains. And she wants to get some festive curtains to match the holiday. So she just so happens to run into Jay, played by writer and director Steve Radzinski, who they both just so happen to grab for the same pair of curtains. And so they get friendly with each other, talk about how much they love Christmas and all that. Somehow get into the conversation about this place that sells the greatest hot chocolate ever that she's never had, so he invites her to try a cup with him. So she just instantly falls in love because that's normal. And she goes to meet up with him at his place, unbeknownst to her that he is married. And he introduces her to his wife. And she's very friendly and nice to Holly. And inside Holly's head, she's thinking, I need to get rid of her. She's a bump in the road between me and my new true love here. But she doesn't really have any commitment to be able to commit to anyone because she's crazy. Meanwhile, inside her head, she has an inner voice that is a guy in a mouse costume, which was interesting. I guess probably a mouse because there are two rats in her favorite holiday Hallmark type movie called A Cheesy Christmas. Well, anyway, they go on their little lunch date to drink chocolate milk and have their little moment. And she thinks that, Jay is hers. So she goes and kills his girlfriend. And Jay has this gingerbread contest thing that he's supposed to judge or attend or something. And this crazy lady shows up there with the girlfriend's face on her face, like leather face, and tells him they have to break it off. She found someone new because he spends too much time at gingerbread contests and stuff, and he's really distraught and upset. And then she leaves the room and comes back without the mask on, with blood all over her face. And he says, "Why is your face so red?" She's like, "Oh, it's just cranberry sauce." And then he goes on to cry and tell about his girlfriend just breaking up with him. No, he has nowhere to go for Christmas. So she says, "Oh, you can come to my family's for Christmas." But she doesn't have a family. So then she's telling her inner self, the guy in the mouse outfit, I gotta get a family. And this is one of the only parts about this movie that confused me, was how she just magically knows where people are. She just randomly shows up at this male gay couple's house, kidnaps them, puts them to sleep, and then when they wake up, she says, "You guys are gonna play my dad." And then she's talking to the her inner self again, and it's like, this isn't really enough, is it? I need to find more family. And this is where you meet Jessa Flux's character Belle and her partner, who are cat burglars. And they're casing a place. And they're in the place discussing stuff. And Holly just shows up out of nowhere, just pops up with a handkerchief and puts them to sleep. And takes them back to the gay couple's house and say, "You guys are going to be my sisters." And so they map it out, they plan it out, and tell them, they're all acting. They're going to play the family and what they're going to do and what they're going to say. And then Jay shows up, unexpectedly bringing his daughter that Holly didn't know nothing about. She wasn't too pleased with that. So then they go on to have dinner, and then Jessa Flux's character Belle's partner Noelle is upstairs in a room freaking out, and Holly decides to go up there and kill her. And then Jay's daughter walks in and catches her, so then she decides to bludgeon her face. And the inner voice, Mousy, shows up and says, "What is wrong with you? What makes you think this guy that you're so in love with is going to be okay with you murdering his daughter?" And she says, "Oh, it's okay. We'll just make more." Yeah, that'll solve it. You'll just make more. So yeah, if Hallmark horror isn't a genre, it will be. Because in the comments of the trailer, someone says, This looks like a twisted Hallmark story, and the director said that's exactly what it is. And last year I watched a movie that felt like a Hallmark horror called Letters to Satan Claus. So like I said, if it ain't a genre, it must be on the rise. This lady is crazy and gives Annie Wilkes a run for her money for Nutbag of the Year. And I would recommend checking this low-budget fun flick out. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Dashing through the snow, smoking on some dro, pulling chicks with expensive gifts just to get that ho ho ho. You know what I mean? Don't get us wrong, we gon' give to the kids. Super Santa's hooking up all the little shit. Before the grown-ups, we getting toe up. A case of malt liquor in a sack that makes you throw up.
Santa Claus wear panty draws. He never decked my halls, he can lick my balls. I got no chimney, but I left the door unlocked. Nothing but pine needles and an empty sock.